Good afternoon, YouTube, and let's go live on Facebook. And good afternoon on Facebook. So, hi. Right, let's start, and as we start, I'll explain what I'm planning. Start with just rocking forwards onto the toe and then back onto the heel. You can let that rocking motion flow through the body as much as you care to. The plan, which may or may not happen, because it will depend how I feel, it's as simple as that, is to exercise for an hour. But to split that exercise down into 15-minute segments. So if you want to go for 15 minutes, change by the way to rocking the foot side to side. If you want to go for 15 minutes, you can. If you want to go for 30 or 45 or 60, stay with me as long as you care to. And obviously, if you're watching this when it's recorded and out in the ether, same thing applies. Do it for as long as you want to. Change to the other foot, rock forward, toe and heel. There will be some repetition of exercises because I'm going to do 4 15-minute sections. Some exercises I will come back to. So they will be shorter when I do them initially, and then we'll just do them again. That kind of makes sense, I think. And rock the foot side to side. Again, you can let this motion of the foot flow through the body. It's absolutely fine. There are exercises, and I know I've said this one before, there are exercises where you want to hold parts of the body static. There's a hand exercise and an arm exercise that we'll probably do later, where holding parts of the body static is important. But for this one, as long as you're doing side to side, everything else is fine. Circle the knee, foot slightly in front, circling the knee, relaxing the hip joint, relaxing the ankle joint, but just concentrate on drawing a circle that way with your knee. What's that? Parallel with the floor. Change direction, by the way. Since the plan is to go for an hour, I will throw in a few exercises, hopefully, that we haven't done before if you've been doing these exercises with me regularly. Because I do believe that whilst there are some exercises you should do every day, there's other exercises that it's just nice to do once in a while. Stops the body getting bored with you. Change to the other leg, circle the knee. I think in bodybuilding and maybe just exercise in general, the term is plateauing. In other words, the body improves, and then it just gets used to what you're doing and stops improving. It plateaus. And as much as possible, you want to keep the body developing. You want to find new ways to do things. Change direction. Feet shoulder width apart, circle the hips. I call these outer circles, and you'll see why in a minute when we do what I call inner circles. Circling the hips and making it a circle so you go forwards and backwards as well as side to side. Nice and gentle. Change direction. Now we're going to do inner circles. So you circle, you're still circling, but you're moving the hips up, down, forwards and backwards. It's an inner circle because it seems to affect the sort of the quad and the small of the back more than this sort of outer part. But it's also, it's kind of like a belly, yeah, I learnt it from a belly dancing teacher as a belly dancing exercise. Change. I never did belly dancing, but I had a specific session with a teacher to help me work on core muscles, which of course belly dancing is famous for. And whilst on one hand it's unheard of, gasp, for men to belly dance, at least as far as I know, the exercise is very good. Feet a tiny bit wider, gently letting the body go side to side. Range of motion exercise, not really trying to, well, you're not trying to stretch, just letting the body gently go from one side to the other. Doesn't have to be fast, doesn't have to be slow, it can be whatever speed you like, but this is kind of a moderate speed. Keep going. Straighten out, forwards and backwards. Again, range of motion, just go as far as is comfortable. I know it may look that I'm going quite deep with the stretch, but I'm not actually actively stretching anything, but because I do these kind of exercises a lot, I am fairly flexible. Keep going. Circle the upper body, keep the lower body fairly still. I'm not going full range of motion here, I'm just making it a nice, pleasant circle. Change direction. Change direction, and if you care to, increase the range of motion. change direction. And relax. Straighten up, circle the shoulders. Legs relaxed, knees bent, sitting backwards ever so slightly if you can. Pelvis tucked under ever so slightly if you can. Shoulders going through as full a range of motion as you're comfortable with. Change direction. Now at the moment I'm holding the legs relaxed, slightly bent, but still. In a moment we're going to just change, 15 seconds, we're going to change direction with the shoulders, but I'm also going to add in the pulsing of the legs, which is something we've done before. If this ain't your first rodeo, whichever, okay. So now we're coming up and down in time with the movement in the shoulders. We're allowing that sort of up and downness to start almost in the feet. It feels like pushing off from the feet, going all the way up. Change direction. Sit down, turn the head side to side. By sit down, obviously, I mean let the legs relax, sit backwards ever so slightly. Head all the way around, first to one side, then to the other, at whatever speed seems appropriate. Gentle stretching of the neck. This is slightly more than a range of motion exercise because you are encouraging the head to turn. Up and down. Bring the hands up to the chest. Chin up, chin down. Chin up, chin tucked in, I suppose is a better way of explaining it. Arms down, head in a nice, big, fairly slow U shape. When we finish this exercise, that will be the end of the first set. Should be about 15 minutes if I've calculated correctly. And when we get there, in about 32 seconds. If you want to stop, you of course may. Though of course you can stop anytime you like. But I hope you'll stay with me for the next section. Next section will be, I think, something we haven't done before. I think I'll do a whole section on stretching, because certainly I don't stretch nearly as much as I used to. Yes, I can blame it on an injury I sustained, but that's not really an excuse, is it? So let's start with some gentle stretching. Just let your body hang down. Relax down towards the ground. Keep going, just relaxing the body down towards the ground. Let the legs bend, sit down on the ground. Let me just scoot back. Put your feet together, and for most people the knees will come up like that. I happen to be fairly flexible here. My knees come down to there. Once your knees are at whatever position is comfortable, just grab your ankles or your toes, whichever works, and just gently pull in. Gently stretching the groin, the quad, all that area. We're only going to do a few stretches, but we're going to hold them. There is, oh, and I'm trying to sit up straight. I was bending the lower spine, so I'm trying to get my back straight. There is a lot of discussion regarding how long you should stretch for. Should you stretch for 10 seconds or 10 minutes? Or I quite like holding stretches for up to a couple of minutes. And what you do every so often, you just stretch a little bit more. So I'm just pulling the feet in a little bit. Stretching should be mildly uncomfortable. It shouldn't be painful. You're not trying to tear the muscles. Okay, different argument there about you're certainly not trying to damage the muscles in a way that requires major recovery. There is perhaps an argument that you are trying, or you are willing to have sort of micro tears of the muscles to persuade them to grow. But I just think in terms of relaxing the muscles. Okay, take the feet out about shoulder width. Grab whatever you can grab. So if you can try and sit up straight. If you can grab the toes, grab the toes. I used to be able to go much further forward than this, but there we go. Just do the best you can. I'm doing the best I can. We keep going. When it goes ding again, which will be at the end of a minute, I'm going to switch one hand over to the other foot. So I'm going to take both hands over to the same foot. Obviously, if you're holding on to your knee or your ankle, you do the same with the knee or the ankle. So here, I'm just stretching along that one leg. Do the best you can. If you can't do it at all, just sitting with the legs straight out in front and just putting the hands slightly behind you to straighten the back, sort of like that, is
You may have noticed just then I crept forward with my head a little bit. I found a bit of relaxation. I'm now going back to both legs. I think maybe I've lost track of the timer, so I'll wait for it to do a dong, because that was a ding, which we will see. And I'm pulling myself forward a little bit, as you can see. Not hurting myself, all quite relaxed. I must have missed a dong. I apologise for missing a dong. I'm going to find a bit of extra wiggle room. I'll take my hands a bit lower, either on the outside or the inside, whichever works for you. Or if that doesn't, you keep your hands on your knees or your ankles or wherever. Okay, this is a much longer stretch than I was originally planning, but I seem to be stretching out a bit more, so maybe that's a good thing. Hopefully this next ding will be a dong, and then I will make a change. Okay, it wasn't, but I'm going to make the change anyway. Take your feet out as wide as they can. Put your hands behind you so you're sort of holding your back upright. If that is easy, then obviously you can bring your hands in front. If your hands are in front, just put them flat on the ground. What you're trying to do, at the moment this is as far forward as I can go. What you're trying to do is get your head to the ground. If you can get your head to the ground, legs out to the side, super duper flexibility, I am jealous. But what you do is you just have your hands flat on the ground, and what you do is you imagine they're stuck there, and after every, well, let's do it when it goes ding. When it goes ding, I'm going to creep my hands forward. You'll see what I do in 5 seconds time. Creep my hands forwards. So I'll do it a little bit more. Creep the hands forwards. Stretch here and there. And under there. For me, you may be different. Going to creep the hands forwards. The trick is to try and relax. The muscles are under tension, and certainly the muscles in my left leg, which is my less flexible leg, are protesting. So what I'm trying to do is consciously get those muscles to relax. And sneak forward a little bit more. Take the feet out a little bit more if you can. Mine don't want to, so I'm not going to. What we're going to do is go one side, middle, other side, middle, other side. You can see there's hardly any movement in my upper body at all, but I guarantee if I do this exercise for a couple of weeks like I used to, there will be a lot more mobility. By the way, this isn't ballistic stretching. I'm doing it slow enough so that the muscles can relax out easily. If you do it too fast, then you'll tear muscles, and that's bad. I'm now going to change it slightly. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, going to slow it down a bit. You can probably see that my range of motion is increasing. It's not a trick. It's increasing because my body is remembering, I suggest, what it used to be able to do. And the fact that I haven't done that in 6 months is just because I haven't done it. Okay. I'm going to relax and give my legs a little shake out. On a hard floor like this next exercise is not great. And I'm going to get dirty, but this is the price we pay. I'm going to come forward onto my front and I'm just going to push up a tiny bit. I had very little flexibility this morning in my lower back. Let me scoot sideways at the risk of getting even dirtier so you can see what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing, keeping my hips down, stretching out with the lower back. Can't straighten my arms. No, I can't today. But again, I guarantee if I do this exercise for a couple of weeks, or relax some more maybe, gently, slowly get up. I'm not going to rush this. Neither should you. I'm going to dust myself off. Feet shoulder width, gently circle the hips. My lower back is definitely protesting at that change direction, at that stretching, so that's fine. I will treat it with some care and attention now. Let us take the leg up and out and the arm up and out. Basically easing off on a lot of the muscles that I stretched. Other direction, out to the side and in. Other side, up and out. Out to the side and in. And relax. That's pretty much
approached the 30-minute mark, just past the 30-minute mark, actually 30 minutes and 30 seconds. So if you want to stop, please do. If you want to continue, relax the legs, turn the waist. The hips can turn a little bit as well, the arms float around the body. Turning the neck as well, turning the head side to side. As you turn the waist, as everything rotates. Nice and gentle. Keep relaxed, keep turning. And change. I'm just stepping in. The legs are pulsing up and down. The arms are floating. I'm genuinely quite pleased. My body gets a gold star, keep going, for being more flexible than I thought it was going to be. I genuinely didn't cheat on that knee to head to knee exercise with a stretch. I honestly thought I'd get nowhere near it, and then after a few sort of attempts, my body just relaxed and said, oh yeah, I remember what you want to do. Now, I used to stretch every day, and as I say, it's been a long while, but now switched to the leg to leg push. So one leg pushes, then the other leg pushes. The waist turns, you get this diagonal movement, the arms are relaxed. Yeah, the body remembered what it used to do a lot of, but it hasn't done. I haven't done that stretch probably in over a year, maybe even more than that. A knee injury basically stopped me being able to stretch without a lot of pain. The knee injury, touch wood, is much better. And stretching, by the looks of it, is back on the cards. I still need to work on how far out the legs will go, but that will come in time. Stretching is great fun if you do it gently. It's not great fun if you go at it too hard. Let us do straight arm and leg raises. I say straight in the sense of straight out in front rather than to the sides, which we were, or diagonally rather. Switch to opposite arm and leg. switch to same side, double lift. If you have any trouble with this, I really do suggest focusing on the idea of a bit of string attached from the arm to the legs. It always seems to me that it's easier to do the double bounce with the arm, and if you imagine that bit of string, then the leg comes along. Switch to opposite sides. Here, of course, you would probably need a system of pulleys, but unless you're of an engineering persuasion and can figure that out, just maybe raise the arm and the leg and do a double bounce without worrying too much about bits of imaginary string. And relax. Circle the shoulders. I happen to start circling them backwards there. Doesn't matter which way you circle them. I'm sitting down with the legs. I'm not pulsing the legs into the shoulders as we did before, although we did this version as well, if I remember correctly. Change direction. Trying to increase the range of motion ever so slightly. Bending the legs a little bit more. Opposite shoulders, one shoulder going forwards, one shoulder going backwards. Other directions. Arms out, hands facing towards the ceiling, drawing little circles. Relax the knees a bit more if you can. If I move that way, then my left hand will not be behind the health and safety notice. Not that it matters. And the opposite direction. Sure, you could figure out if one arm was going around in circles, the other arm probably was too. Now when it goes big in 10 seconds time, we're going to do the same thing, the opposite direction, but using the shoulders to draw the circles, not the hands to draw the circles. I will show you when we get there. Now, I'm exaggerating it slightly, but I'm moving the circles round in shoulders. That boy, I'm moving the shoulders round in a circle to take the arms round in a circle, whereas before it was the hands that were drawing the circle. So it's different muscles, slightly harder version for most people, maybe not for you. Change direction, the shoulders doing the work. tuck the elbow into the side, keep the forearm fairly still, rotate the hands. As you may remember at the beginning, I did say there are exercises where the whole body moves. There's other exercises where we keep parts still. This is keeping still. Legs relaxed, knees bent, sitting backwards ever so slightly, change direction with the hands. After that last exercise with the shoulders, you may find your breathing rate and your heart rate's increased a little bit. This exercise, hopefully, while still being an exercise for both the hands and the legs, will allow things to settle down, both in the same direction. Excuse me. As I've said before, the purpose of these exercises is to improve the body gently. So we're not going for strong aerobic, work up a huge sweat type of exercises, which are valid, don't get me wrong, I don't have anything against them, and I do those kind of things from time to time, change direction, but for a daily exercise routine that you can probably keep. Oh, by the way, sorry, there are some people, I have a Tai Chi student who, he and his wife hit the gym at 6 a.m. Every morning, and he's older than I am, and they go hammer and tong. So you can do hard exercise when you're older, but I would suggest gentle exercise is more sustainable. Again, I'm going to move slightly over to the side. I'm keeping my upper arms still. I'm allowing the lower part of my arms to rotate around the elbow joint. Not fast, not slow, just a comfortable speed. I want the elbows to work, but I also want to, what's the word? I want to take care, change direction, take care of the muscles in the elbow. I have found that doing this exercise too vigorously causes problems, but that may just be me, because I had tendon injuries to the elbows. That's a long time ago, it's the best part of 30 years. Whether or not they've completely healed, it's always a tricky thing to know with the body, both in the same direction. Sometimes quite severe injuries seem to heal 100%. Other times quite minor injuries seem to stay with you for years and years. It's possibly the body's way of telling you not to be an idiot. Certainly the way I injured my elbows was entirely preventable. Change direction. And relax. Okay, head forwards and backwards. Just turn and face the camera and make it a better picture. Head side to side. So it's keeping the head upright, but trying to move your whole head side to side. I think I'm gradually, slowly getting a bit better with this exercise, but it is challenging. It's not a natural movement for me. It's not unnatural,
head in a U shape. In Tai Chi, you shouldn't ask your body to do anything that might be termed unnatural, that's putting it under so much stress and strain that it's, well, unnatural. But some of the movements in Tai Chi are unusual, and certainly that, for me, that side to side head movement is unusual. Keep going. U shapes, nice and relaxed. Let the head relax down, gently bring it up. Relax down, gently bring it up. And relax. If you're still with me, very well done. That's the end of the third section, actually at 46.5 minutes plus a few seconds. So we will keep going. If you want to stay with me, that is super duper. Let us do 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Just opening up the chest. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. If I do it sideways, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Get an idea of the range of motion and relax. Big circles backwards, and you can bring this up through the legs, through the body. You can gradually speed it up a little. And you can change direction, big circles forward, bringing it up through the body. This is similar to, it's not anyway the same as, but this is similar to what my body will be doing later when I go swimming with the butterfly stroke, a movement that goes all through the body from the feet right up to the arms. And relax. Feet comfortably wide, both hands down, one leg up, both hands down the other. If you can reach to the floor, that's great. If you can't, don't worry. Now, when you come up, lean back, come to the centre, go down to the side, come up, lean back, come to the centre. So you're stretching backwards at an angle, coming back to the centre. And we'll carry on when it goes ding. Like that. No rush, just gently stretching down, stretching back. And relax. Feet in, circle the hips. So I'm just moving back so you can see the feet. You'll see why seeing the feet is important momentarily.
change direction and take the feet out a little bit. What was that? Inch or two? Not very far. Keep the circles going. Change direction and take I took my left leg out a couple of inches. You could have taken the right leg, the left leg, both legs, but the important bit is that your stance is now just a little bit wider. Still keeping the circles going. Legs should be soft, the knees relaxed, slightly bent. Again, I'm just going to move one of my feet out, change direction. I think I changed direction. The legs are relaxed even more. That frees up my centre to circle around. I'm not doing big circles because I can't. I haven't got that degree of flexibility. If you have, great. If you've got less flexibility, you do whatever your body. Change direction. I'm also taking the feet out a little bit more. It's interesting, I seem to have hit kind of a sweet spot. My legs are the furthest out they've been, but all of a sudden I've got a little bit more flexibility. No idea why that is. Possibly our muscles have relaxed, they kind of understand what's going on, and bring the feet in. Nice simple exercise, but do it gently. Just take one leg forward, then the other leg. If you get it up to knee height, that's fine. If you can get it up to waist height, that's fine. If you can get it higher, that's fine too. But waist height is good. And then side to side check. There's nothing to kick, obviously, and no body. Don't want to kick the Ming vase. Don't want to kick the cat. Don't want to kick husband, wife, partner, grandma, small children, whatever. Check behind you. Kick. I say kick, that's not really the right word. It's a straight, all of these are just straight leg raises from the hips. If I do it at an angle, you can see I'm not bending forward too much. I'm trying to keep that under control. And I'm not trying to bend at the knee. Just trying to work the muscles there. Circle the hips. Feet shoulder width. Big circles, nice and relaxed. Speed it up a little if it works for you. Change direction. I'm coming a little bit tight on this one. The hand is going to go across the body, the elbow sweeps up. So it's the cross up, going in front of your face with the elbow. Your palm is facing away from you. Change direction. So I'm still keeping the hand pretty much facing away, but I'm bringing the elbow up and out to the side and then across in front of the body. And yes, there is some movement in my hips and my waist, coming up
arguably all the way from the ground. Now, palm towards the body, bringing the elbow up and across. So I'm taking it out to the side, bringing it across. Changing direction, going across, and again the palm for the most part of the exercise is facing towards me. My palms. Your palms should be facing towards you. These ones, opposite big circles with the arms, and you can, if you want to, try and synchronize some waist movement so it feels as if you're pushing and pulling the arms across the body. Here my hands are currently facing away from my body, although sideways on is okay as well. Change direction. Both sweeping round in the same direction. Here my palms are away from my body. Again, your mileage may vary, as the saying goes, just scooting across. Change direction. And relax. I want to go back to the one we started with, toe and heel, and then we're going to add something to it. Let's start toe and heel. Other leg, allowing that motion to flow if it wants to through your body. In other words, trying to be as relaxed as you can be. Now with the next exercise, if your balance is really good, you can put your feet together. I'm going to keep my feet a little bit apart, because that's what works for me. Feet a little bit apart, coming up onto the toes, down, up, down, up, hold it just for a tiny amount of time, second or two, down. The next one, I want to come up, go down, roll back. You'll need to stabilise yourself or move a foot or have a better balance than me. Up, so up, down, come up, down, rolling back. your balance is good, this is a really easy exercise. If, like me, you're balance challenged, and relax. Well, that is an hour of exercise. I hope you did it. If you didn't, obviously, so I'm just going to turn the timer off. I'll be back. If you didn't do it all, come back and do it again. I don't know if you can see. That's, sorry, where's the camera? There we are. 1 hour and 56 seconds. Yeah, if you did the whole thing, fantastic. If you didn't, please feel free to come back to the recording of the video and try it again. If there were bits you liked, repeat them. If there were bits you didn't like, leave them out. It's once the recording is up, it's a resource. And the trick to using resources is for each of us as individuals to use the resource to further our individual needs, requirements, goals, etc. Anyway, thank you all very much. I hope you have a lovely super duper Sunday, or whatever day you happen to be watching this, and bye bye for now.